Check is superior. Soundwave, inferior. What's up, guys? BC coming back, got you guys with yet another Transformers video review. And if you were paying attention to the last review's little tease, we'll say, you would have figured out that today we are going to be taking a look at MP-13 Soundwave. Thank you, God! Yeah, in case it wasn't already obvious, I have been looking for this guy for basically forever. And I finally got my opportunity to get not just the figure himself, but all of his cassettes as well. But we're not getting into that. At least not the full aspect of it, because this is kind of going to be a bit of a two-parter idea that I'm planning on doing, because this whole set I can't just review. I'm not just gonna review it in one go. It's just not gonna happen. And bearing in mind, I am also one of those people that loves to stretch things out so I can come up with ideas for other videos. This is just gonna have to be the way it's done for right now. And also, clearly enough, as you can see, we're doing things almost exactly the same way as we did with Shockwave, where we're starting with the robot first. So I think that's about all I've got for just informing things, I guess. I don't know. But with that said, let us go into this with the accessories. Since this is a Soundwave specified video, this is going to be the Soundwave specific accessory. So he comes with his little laser gun looking thing, which he does hold like a champ. This little chest panel thing to do things from that episode. An entirely clear Energon cube, which again, you know, yank this off the back, plug it onto his chest, and he can make an Energon cube. Again, that one thing he did in the show. This little hand radar thing. I'm not even sure what this is. It's another one of those, that one thing he did in that one episode sort of deals. It's really weird. I'm not sure how I feel about it. And what was honestly the staple for most masterpieces to come with back in the day, Megatron in gun mode. Gotta love this. So now that we've taken a look at all the accessories, let's go ahead and talk about the figure itself. And it's basically nothing short of amazing. Like, I don't know what else you want me to say. It's a breathtaking figure to look at. It's so nice. It's so nice. The chrome on the buttons, the goldish yellow trim on his chest, the silver paint, the little added details, all these little random bits and bobs, the record, just everything that's on this. It feels like they deliberately brought this thing to life with the intention of making you want to properly build that Decepticon shelf, if that makes any sense. Like, this is a really, really well done figure. But before we get into any more of that, let's go into the aspect that I tend to love the most about specific figures, and that is his articulation. Starting off at the head, he has a swivel and a hinge in his neck, so he can look from left to right as well as up and down. So, you know, pretty much the fully articulated head, for better or for worse. And he even has the little details inside of his eyes. That is awesome. So yeah, there you go. There's that. Shoulders rotate full 360. They go outward, and on a secondary joint, they go all the way up like that. Looks a little weird, but you're not going to be having Soundwave doing things like that. So disregard that. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, wrist swivel, hands open, and index finger allows him to, better than MP-10, a more proper point. MP-10 should have had these, but I digress. Waist swivel, and unfortunately, there is no ab crunch. I wish there was. It would have been awesome if there was, but unfortunately, there is not. Now, really weird, he doesn't really get a whole lot of quote-unquote outward hip movement. Like, this is the maximum you're going to get out of this guy for his, unless I have these wrong. Yeah, let me see if I've got these wrong. I think they're actually supposed to go like this. If I had these... oh, wait. Yeah, BC's a dunce. Okay, so he does indeed get the full splits. This side's a little weaker than the others. Wow, I feel so dumb for that. Oh, man, I feel bad. I feel super dumb. I'm sorry. But he does get the ratcheting forward and back. So, just... you know, yeah. Would it have even... no, it wouldn't have even worked if I had... wow. Wow, BC. That has to be one of the biggest fails of all. People are probably already commenting in the video, you have the hips wrong! Yep, I just realized that. Anyways. Y'all gotta give me a minute. Alright, I've chilled out. So he has the ankle tilt, which is super movable, not on purpose. A die-cast foot, I love it. And he's kind of got forward and back ankle pivot, but it just doesn't. It doesn't really move up, so I don't really count it. And this thing moves. Again, it's more for transformation, but, you know, there you go. It moves. Boom. Gimmicks-wise, come on, y'all. Come on. You know I gotta do it. He does it fine off camera, but he refuses to do it right on. So let's try it again. Y'all know I gotta do it. He keeps fighting me, so there we go. He can do it. He can do it. Yeah, he can press his own button. I think that is so awesome that he can do that. This thing also pushes back, and you push this little switch on his back right here to pop it forward. So I'm going to show it again. And you could do multiple presses if you so desired. So that's basically gimmick number 1. Gimmick number 2 is his little radar thing. Gimmick number 3, extending the handle just a bit, but you can have him indeed holding Megatron. Now, if you'll excuse me for just one moment, Soundwave is gonna go assassinate somebody important. Woo! Gimmick number 4. And gimmick number 5. Yeah, you could do all that. And of course, he can hold the gun just fine. There are tons of other gimmicks that this figure has, but I'm going to get into those more when we actually start talking about the cassettes, which will more than likely be the follow-up to this. Will it be the Friday video? Maybe not. It all depends on how I schedule this. I don't know yet. I may end up recording everything tonight and then just making you guys wait. I don't know. It all depends. But as it is, you know, that's kind of everything with standard Soundwave. The only other thing that I could argue is that Laserbeak should be coming with him, but I'm not including him because he's technically his own figure, and I'd rather just talk about all the cassettes in one go. So we're basically stuck with him. Not that that's a bad thing at all, but, you know, for video's sake, we're stuck with him. And at this point, there's only really one other thing left to do, and that's transform him. And I'm itching to get this started, so let's go. So obviously, first things first, we gotta pop open his hand, or his arm, fold his hands in, and ta-da. Coming to the back right here, using the series of hinges, fold this flat onto his back. Open this back compartment up, and then fold his head in, close it up. Flip these little back shoulder panels up like this. Fold up his laser rifle. Slot that in right here if it'll work for me. There we go. Unlatch the shoulders from here and then fold them directly back. And that, for the most part, finishes this entire section. Take this entire waist section and pop it forward. I'm pretty sure it comes out further than that. I'm fairly certain it comes out further than that. Whoops. Give me a second. Now we're getting into the pretty ingenious parts of this. So we're going to take this whole panel, flip it up like this, and just kind of start folding it up upon itself like this. But we're not going to put this in a position just yet. Obviously, the same thing for the other side. Come underneath here, flip this piece up, and then flatten out like that. Bring it back down, push it up. And I'm sorry for this focus. Take this hip, flip it up like this, rotate it at the knee, bend this bit up, push this in to bring this down, which we're then going to proceed to flip his entire foot. Once you get this properly in place, I apologize, that is a bean. This will all flip down and around, and then this will tab and lock into place. Obviously, you're going to want to do the same thing over here. And there's the tape deck mode. My God, this has got to be one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Like, look, I understand that not everyone enjoys these kind of things, at least not to the same level that I do. But you also got to understand, this is sheer perfection to me. Like, how else do I explain this? The figure, this is pretty much everything I would need an MP scale Soundwave to do. Turn into the the tape deck, turn into the robot, be fully articulated, and look good next to his fellow Decepticons. And that is basically all the things he does, pretty much dead perfect. So, let's address the elephant in the room. That gaping hole. This piece can fit in here somehow. I think it goes in like this. I've never done this before, so bear with me. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, that fits in there, and that kind of fills in some of that gap, but, you know, I can live with that. And obviously, you know, if you really wanted to, you could just as easily, you know, pop these bits into his chest, and yeah. Those are all things that you really don't need to worry about. But other fun little things that this can do, you have this little thing, that the actual like power switch, which works. You have the volume thing that works. Obviously, he's got all this other tape deck stuff that obviously doesn't work. And I actually think maybe, I'm not sure. Does this plug in here? Oh my lord, that is so cool. That is awesome. I actually really like that. And another thing that I really wish I could show, but I don't have headphones on hand. He has a working headphone port. That is one of the coolest things ever. They did not need to do that, and they did. And I love it. It's so cool. And then that's basically the boombox mode. These little buttons can be pushed, but, you know, play, stop, and record, those don't work. But these forward and back buttons, they're spring-loaded, so you can actually press them. I don't know why you would do what I just did. These are freaking chrome. You're going to damage that. He has that gimmick, which carries over, which it should, naturally. And yeah, that, I don't know, I legitimately do not know what else to say. It's a great, great, great Soundwave. Now, of course, before we get into anything else, we need to change him back into the robot mode. I will not be showing that, because that's just how I roll. So, let's go ahead and get him back into the robot mode, do some size comparisons, then we'll handle our final thoughts. Shall we? Let's. Size comparison-wise, there's MP Sideswipe, MP Ratchet, MP Shockwave, and MP-36. Alright, final thoughts. Let's get into it. I really don't have a lot of negatives with this figure. In fact, I don't really think I have any negatives with it, entirely because of what this is. I mean, if I had to nitpick a few things, the shoulders, when they basically point straight up for articulation, like I just showed, looks a little weird, but I could get over it. The lack of an ab crunch. I've been spoiled by more modern day MP style figures, so that's more of a me thing. Yeah, I don't know what else to say here for the negatives. I'm gonna be real. Once we start getting into those positives, though, let's be real. The dude's nothing short of simply phenomenal. The detail work is perfect. The paint, perfect. The articulation, aside from that weird wonky shoulder and probably me forgetting to mention the knees, basically perfect for who this is supposed to be. It's perfect. The transformation is super smooth and super easy. I've flipped him back and forth multiple times. The dude is just... He hits that sweet spot. He does everything he needs to do, and he does it oh so right. And what matters the most, at least for me, is the fact that he looks amazing with Shockwave and Megatron. I do not currently have a Starscream. MP-52 was calling my name. I think that looks amazing, but we're not going to get into that. This figure is simply amazing. But I'd be doing myself a disservice if I wasn't fully honest with you guys. Despite how great he is, he's a platinum seal figure. He's not BC seal worthy. But that does not mean that he is not a great figure. Dude's phenomenal. I love this figure so much. So much. So I'm going to go ahead and allow this to be propped up against him. See if maybe I can get it to where you can... There we go. Perfect. So there we go. Soundwave is platinum seal. So... yeah, the next video after this goes up will definitely more than likely be the second part, which is all of the tapes. I have more grievances with the tapes, but we'll get into that when we actually talk about them. So clearly enough, whoever the next review may be, who knows? Like whoever the next actual review will end up being, no one knows. I don't know. So we'll just have to wait and see. With that said, guys, I'm taking up enough of your time. This is VC saying stay tuned to get your geek on. I'll talk to you guys later.